And welcome back to the Sami Owens Show. I am your host, Sami Owens, and please welcome my guest, the legendary HeelGill. Welcome to the show, Gil.
Thank you, man. That's quite the introduction right there.
Thank you for joining me on the show. What brings you on today?
Just to, talk about some wrestling.
Alright, where should we start first?
Where should we start? Anything in mind?
I actually do, because the other day when I was trying to find a stupid wrestling fact to make, I discovered that there was this wrestling company called Christian Wrestling Federation. And I was watching an episode of it earlier, and I'll be completely honest, it's not bad. It has this independent show vibe, but also a backyard wrestling vibe.
Okay.
Like, they can somehow intertwine them and have that good synergy.
Okay.
Like, I was watching their Sunday Salvation episode from the 26th of February, and they started off the show with this amazing tribute to a wrestler who passed away. His name is Jason Silver. And I just thought that was a great touch to start off. However, they started the first match, which was a 10-man battle royal. However, there was only like 7 or 8 people in the match. So, I don't think they know how to count well. But other than that, I was enjoying the matches. And they did have one promo segment with this new wrestler. And it does have a Christian theme to it, which kind of expected. And it just works so well, even though wrestling is sort of a violent sport, while Christians are more about loving your neighbor and praising the Lord.
I mean, back in that time, you had stuff like David and Goliath.
You got a very good point there. Plus, you also
It
had...
seems like back in that time, they did battles, that certain time period was.
True, there is actually a lot of death in the Bible. So, I don't know why I was questioning it then. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good show. Shout out to CFW. CWF. My bad. Check them out whenever you get the chance.
I will.
Alright, what other wrestling companies do you want to talk about?
Would you like to talk about some AEW?
Sure. Where should we start?
Where should we start? I'm trying to think. What'd you think about Wardlow losing the TNT title after 3 to 4 days? He barely held the strap.
I'll be completely honest. I forgot he regained the title at Revolution, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, he beat Samoa Joe for the TNT title, and didn't his car get broken into and the TNT title get stolen?
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell if that was real or a work, honestly. But later on, apparently QT Marshall and Powerhouse Hobbs, they were responsible for that.
Yeah, that seems like a Hobbs and Marshall thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So I personally don't like what they're doing with the TNT title at the moment. It's basically like the Raw Women's Championship back in 2016, where this person would win it, then the other person would win it, then they would win it back, and all that other stuff. Like
That's a fair comparison.
right, like
It's like the 24/7 title, pretty much.
right, but it did have some prestige, like the TNT title, because
Right.
you had amazing reigns like Cody Rhodes, Darby Allin, Brody Lee, Miro. All of them were amazing TNT champions, in my opinion. But after Sammy Guevara won it for, I don't remember how many times, like where, I think it was,
I think three or two times, something like that.
well, it was the time before Scorpio Sky won the title. And I have to admit, the custom title that he had, just so beautiful. And great tribute to Kobe.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was really great.
But yeah, they really need to do a hard reset on the TNT title. First off, honestly, just change the name. Because I'm not a fan of companies using their TV channels to inspire a title. Like, the titles look great, as well as the TBS title. Like,
Right.
just saying, like, if TNT drops AEW and they go somewhere else, what are they going to do? They're basically just going to rename it after the new channel or something?
Yeah, I never liked that concept, honestly.
Right, and you could have the TBS title be defended on TNT, and the TNT title be defended on TBS. Like, I understand that they're basically sister channels or something, but
Right.
don't name your titles after a television network.
Yeah, clearly it's not working well. But let's talk about the current TNT champion, Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, I've been watching AEW Dark like since around the time he pretty much made his debut. So I've pretty much seen everything he's done. Same with the Acclaims, The Acclaims they were the AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Shouldn't have lost
They
them.
did very well. Yeah, I agree with that. They did very well. They're still over.
Honestly, the only people who should have beaten the Acclaimed are FTR. That is not a debate. FTR is the greatest tag team in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd put them up there with like the Usos.
Yeah, Usos are definitely up there as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
I feel like RK Bro would be another tag team up there.
True.
If Orton wasn't injured.
Right. The New Day are up there as well.
Oh yeah, them.
However,
But
yeah, back to the TNT title. Like the current champion, Powerhouse Hobbs.
yeah, as for Hobbs though, I just hope he has a lengthy reign. I mean, he has a mouthpiece now. He has QT Marshall. On the media, a lot of people are not a fan of that, as I see. But I think it's gonna work out because QT he can talk. He can really talk, especially since they're heels. I think it's gonna work out well. What do you think?
Honestly, I just want to see Powerhouse Hobbs succeed because, like, back in, I believe, 2021, I watched a bit of AEW, like from Dynamite and Rampage, and I saw some of the stuff that Hobbs was doing, and I saw potential in him. I honestly thought he would be a great champion, and this is his chance to prove it. Unlike some other stars in other companies. And I'm not going to mention any names. Ronda Rousey. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think Powerhouse Hobbs, he's gonna do really great. I mean, he has that spine buster esque Arn Anderson. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see great things in his future. He could even be AEW champion at one point.
Possibility. I can see that.
Like, not anytime soon, because I don't see MJF dropping it until like later in the year or early 2024. But he will be up there one day.
Absolutely, yeah. Same with Wardlow, actually.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do with him now. Like, are they gonna have him feud with Hobbs still, or is he gonna go for MJF? Because at the media scrum, he pretty much said he'd love to, get that AEW World Title.
Right. I would love to see a rematch between MJF and Wardlow. However, after this, like, very rocky last little bit of time with him, they really need to build him up again as a serious threat. Because his run hasn't been on it hasn't been on a very good point at the moment.
Yeah, his momentum actually has kind of died down a little bit. Fans used to chant Wardlow and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of changed over time. The booking for him is just, it's not that good as it was, I guess, before when he beat MJF.
Right. Tony Khan really needs to focus on booking good shows instead of worrying about like other companies or other journalists or something. Like, I have seen some of his tweets posted on Instagram, and I just can't take the guy seriously.
Yeah, he just needs to focus on his product, Like, I really want AEW to succeed. I'm not one of those fans that hate on WWE, that hate on AEW. I like both promotions, I would love for them to do, like, a cross-promotion, type thing where, like, wrestlers from their company face the other, that'd be pretty cool. Like Forbidden Door, pretty much.
Yeah. Like Survivor Series mixed with the Forbidden Door.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Like, you could have Roman Reigns versus MJF, or if you want, do a Shield triple threat.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I loved their triple threat at Battleground 2016, but imagine Moxley at his full potential against current day Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. That would just tear the house down.
Don't forget the blood.
Oh yeah, there will be blood. Every Jon Moxley match ever.
Have you noticed recently that at in AEW that Jon Moxley has been using the curb stomp?
Oh yeah, I've seen some clips of that. And I'm not sure if it's just like a nod to Seth Rollins or a shot at Seth Rollins. But either way,
I think it's a nod to him.
Yeah, either way, I just love it. Because the curb stomp, great move. And just seeing how Moxley's using it, it just warms my heart.
Yeah, man. It's that brotherly love, man.
And now, some other things in AEW that aren't really being booked well. Their women's division. Like, for instance, Jade Cargill. I understand that she's on an undefeated streak, but some of her matches are just repetitive. Like 5 minutes of pretty much nothing.
Yeah, she pretty much most of her matches are like kind of the same thing because she's in a way green, but I'd say like her with the TBS title, I think she really holds it up well. I think it just fits her, man. Honestly,
Right,
I have no issue with the streak, but it would just be nice if she did a lot more in her matches. You know what I mean?
right, and give her tougher opponents. Like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing people like Sky Blue get opportunities. However, give her someone like, I don't know, maybe Britt Baker for a match,
That was a
or
nice one. I was thinking that one. Yeah, Britt Baker.
uh, maybe Tony Storm, Ruby Riott. Maybe bring in someone
Rhea.
from, sure, bring in someone from like another company for like a match. Just give her these meaningful title defenses to actually make people care about who is actually going to be able to beat her.
Right. Because at this point, honestly, her matches are kind of like you can just predict she's gonna win. You know, like I'd love some tougher opponents for her, like an open challenge type thing.
Yeah. In
Like get
fact,
some woman from New Japan probably.
exactly. That would get more eyes on their product, and it'll make Jade Cargill a bigger threat, in my opinion.
Would you say the TBS title has prestige?
Honestly, since it gets defended a lot, and we've only had, what, one champion since it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
introduced? Yeah, I would say it has prestige. Because it's not made to look like a complete afterthought.
exactly.
And as long as they figure out what they want to do and give her tougher opponents, then it should stay a main focus point of AEW TV.
Yeah, I can't see that title like being discontinued. I'd see it
Right.
having like longevity.
And I'll be completely honest, it's been around shorter than the women's tag team titles in WWE, and it's already way more prestigious than those.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The women tag titles in WWE, they're not really consistent with it.
Don't
They
get
don't
me
really
wrong.
seem to do much with it.
Don't get me wrong. Before people on the internet try to cancel me, I'm not saying that the titles are pointless. I love the fact that they introduce them to give women more opportunities. However, when they are booked like how they're currently booked, I don't really see a necessary point to have them. Because
Yeah,
tag teams are just randomly formed and broken up like almost immediately. I loved some of the teams that have won the titles, like the Kabuki Warriors, the Iconics, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley, uh, Sasha and Bailey, Damage Control, but they haven't really been And they haven't really recovered from when Sasha and Naomi relinquished the titles. Like, I'm not saying that they downgraded the prestige of the titles. I'm just saying that they're not really a focus anymore.
That's fair to say. I agree with that.
Like, they did have a tournament to crown new champions, but it was won by Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. A makeshift tag team when you had teams like Damage Control and I believe Toxic Attraction were in that tournament as well.
Yeah.
And I'm a little biased, but you also had Nikki, ASH, and Doudrop. I'm a big fan of those two. They should have been like a possible finalist for that tournament.
Why exactly are you a fan of them anyway? Just curious.
Okay, well, when I watched my first ever takeover, it was Brooklyn 3. It kicked off with AOP versus Sanity, and that match was just insane. And Nikki took this huge bump from Killian Dane and one member of AOP. And like that entire show was absolutely insane. It had the debut of the Undisputed Era, and that was what really made me start appreciating NXT and everything that brand had to offer. Like, that entire show was insane from top to bottom. And besides, Drew McIntyre won the NXT title that night. That was just a way to show that he was more than just the chosen one from 2010. But yeah, that was the night I first started becoming a fan of Nikki Cross. And Doudrop was more recently. I've seen some of her stuff in NXT UK. She is absolutely amazing. And she gives me Keith Lee vibes. Like with all due respect, she's a bigger person who can, I don't know how to phrase it. Like, she can move insanely well.
Okay.
And besides, they have Scottish accents. I love that accent so much.
Shout out to Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
But how about this? Let's talk about some Bray Wyatt.
Oh yes, Bray
Recently,
Wyatt.
He walked out, apparently. Something happened.
Really? I heard that he was suffering from a physical issue. Like,
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors circulating what's been going on with the guy. I just hope he's okay, you know?
right, same here.
I really do.
Huge fan of Bray Wyatt. The man is a genius when it comes to creating these stories.
He does get a hard time on social media since fans are... Like, they kind of had enough of his storylines. Like, not the majority, but just... There's a half... Like, there's a side of the fans that just pretty much don't like what he's doing right now.
Right, but when are wrestling fans ever satisfied?
I don't know.
But I just want Bray Wyatt to stay around, tell his stories, and be a huge asset to the company. Because I started watching him back when he debuted on the main roster. Like, that Ring of Fire match with Kane was insane. And when I was a little skeptical about the Firefly Funhouse, he pulled me in immediately. Like, I was hooked after the first couple episodes.
It was too. It was just something fresh, something new for Bray Wyatt.
Right,
After not like he just wasn't doing anything for a while, and then that just came out of nowhere, and this just got everyone's attention. It was just something great.
right. I did not see him becoming a Mr. Rogers like character, but those dark moments in those episodes really kept me invested until they introduced the Fiend. Then I was fully involved into it.
Honestly, in my opinion, I personally think that Bray Wyatt peaked as the Fiend.
Honestly, the Fiend was his best work in my opinion, but I'm still trying to see where this current character is going. I hope we don't. I hope it does not end right away. I hope he can come back. After whatever is going on, he can keep telling his story. I want to see where Alexa Bliss is intertwined in this whole story. I want to see if we get Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy down the line, which that is on my 2023 wrestling bingo card. I have my Instagram pulled up right here. Let me find that post real quick. Oh, yeah, here it is. I have it right there. Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy. Well, yeah, this bingo card has a lot of insane predictions, and I already got some of them right.
If Bray won't make it until WrestleMania, there's a possibility, and I hope this actually happens, honestly. Bobby Lashley.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. You're kind of cutting out a bit.
No. What do you think about that?
You kind of cut out there for a bit.
Oh, I said basically, if Bray Wyatt doesn't make it to WrestleMania, I would love to see Bobby Lashley versus LA Knight, because there's a possibility that may happen.
That would be awesome. Another thing I'd love to see, LA Knight versus The Rock. I know everyone wants to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock, but let me just fantasy book here for a second. LA Knight keeps saying that you can't have WrestleMania without LA Knight. And he kind of has charisma like The Rock. And his mic skills just fit perfectly. I want to hear a promo battle between the two. It would get...
I'll do better. LA Knight and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, a yeah versus what chant?
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, there are actually some rumors of that happening. If it actually does happen, I'm here for it.
Honestly, it's unlikely that we'll see LA Knight and The Rock in the ring, but Stone Cold and LA Knight, I think that's a possibility. I mean, we saw last year Kevin Owens and Stone Cold faced at WrestleMania.
Right, I was excited for... treat, yeah, I was happy for Kevin Owens main eventing WrestleMania. Well deserved.
Had he gone to AEW, that wouldn't have happened. A lot of people wanted to see him go. A lot of people didn't want to see him go, but he stayed and he got to face Stone Cold. I mean,
All I want is what's
that's
best for.
amazing.
All I want is what's best for a certain wrestler. Like, if they feel like they've reached their limit in one company and decide to go to another, more power to them. If they feel like they still have more to accomplish in a current company, I'm happy for them. Like, as long as they're happy, let them do what they want to do. Until they start,
Right.
like, trash talking about everything that happened in a previous company they worked for, then that just gets irritating.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about LA Knight versus Stone Cold, or LA Knight versus The Rock. One match I am not excited for: Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Now, to be honest, I'm excited for that one. Mainly because I would love to see Brock Lesnar throwing around Omos with German suplexes, the F5. You never know what we'll see.
Honestly, the F5 is the only thing I want to see. Other than that, I just don't know how to get hyped about that. Like, don't get me wrong, Brock is an amazing athlete. He can do a lot of things that people his size shouldn't be able to do. Like, especially that shooting star press he tried at WrestleMania 19. That
I
was
feel like he could do that again. He just has to put time into it, you know?
right. Like, also, didn't he jump to like the top rope just to suplex someone off?
What do you mean?
I'm pretty sure Brock once, like, got up, like, without climbing the ropes. He jumped onto the top rope and suplexed someone off.
Oh,
Like,
the Big Show.
oh yeah, that. Like, he has this cat-like agility, and I just feel like that is bizarre from a big buff guy like him. But he is the only reason why I have just the slightest bit of interest in the match.
Imagine they redo that spot, though, at WrestleMania.
Honestly,
Suplex.
that would be interesting. Now, I have made this clear before. I am not an Omos fan, mainly because I don't see the potential in him. I tried giving him a chance. He's just a little worse than the Great Khali, in my opinion. Like, when,
I think it's the other way around, in my opinion. I think
and
he
I
can move a lot
respect that.
better than Cully. Yeah, keep going.
It's just that I am not a fan of WWE when they bring in these. Actually, no. Let me rephrase this. I'm not a fan of when wrestling companies bring in these massive wrestlers that can hardly move, like, and make them top stars, or at least try to make them top stars, or something like that. Like Omos and the Great Khali are two examples. They both became champions, and it didn't do anything for them.
I mean, I would say Omos teaming up with AJ Styles did pretty good for him, you know? A good part of his, like, early career. I think it was nice.
I hate to give him credit, but I can agree with that. AJ Styles did give him some spotlight that was probably needed.
Right, yeah. I think they were really a great team, honestly.
I wouldn't go
Great
that
chemistry.
far.
Not like great as in like some FTR. I'm just saying like I think it worked well.
Like, yeah, they had
First time.
some funny moments. Like, I don't know how tall AJ is, but seeing him interact with a giant and like some of those high fives they did, those were kind of funny. But whenever they did segments like that, I always wanted Riddle to just pop in. Like he did at some points, which Riddle is just hilarious. And he made those segments so much better. But yeah,
Riddle though, we haven't seen him in a while. He was doing rehab. He was supposed to come back actually long ago, but we haven't heard from him.
I'm pretty sure he might come back to Raw after WrestleMania. Because they're not going to have him return on the road to WrestleMania when we're... Oh god, I don't know how far away.
No, you're right. Because there's not much for him, like WrestleMania is approaching,
Right,
so.
There's 2 Raws and 3 SmackDowns left. Because this is going up an hour before SmackDown starts on the 17th. So yeah, 3 SmackDowns and 2 Raws. Man, it's already that soon?
Wow.
But some of the feuds heading into WrestleMania have been kind of lackluster. Like Bianca and Asuka. They should be doing so much better than what they're currently doing.
Yeah, honestly, Bianca Belair, when she, first won the title, it was all great.
Yeah.
But as of now, it's just, she's the champion. I don't see much going on with her.
Right, and that's one of the downsides when you haven't done a draft in a while, and you have a champion who has held the title for 300 plus days. Well, I mean, at least for Roman, they kind of kept it fresh. They've had some challengers from SmackDown, they've had challengers from Raw, and his storyline was actually interesting, where they were actually fighting. This storyline is basically just, what color of mist is Asuka going to spit out this week? Like, let them hit each other.
Right, yeah.
And same thing goes with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I want to see Rhea Ripley win the title. But the feud is not that interesting at the moment. I get it. She's trying to get revenge for the loss at WrestleMania 36. However, I want to see some cheap shots thrown. Because Charlotte is the daughter of the dirtiest player in the game, but she's not acting like it. I know last week I kind of roasted Charlotte for taking too much from her father, but this is the one thing that I actually want to see differently. Let her take some cheap shots at Rhea Ripley, even Dominic Mysterio. Like, let someone get punched.
Yeah, I would like that.
But on the topic of Dominic Mysterio, his feud with Rey Mysterio is going perfectly right now. I know that some people want to see Ray hit him already, but I like the slow build. Because, like, not everything needs to be rushed. In this case, let Ray finally reach his breaking point, like the SmackDown before WrestleMania or during the Hall of Fame ceremony. Setting up a match at WrestleMania, basically being Mask versus Hair or something, or maybe a retirement match for Ray.
I would like for it. I mean, I think Ray isn't ready to retire, but I
Oh,
think
same here, but I'm just throwing out ideas.
yeah, I think Dominic should be Ray's last opponent.
Yeah, because what other way is there to retire Rey Mysterio? I can't think of any.
Same.
Now, if it's not this WrestleMania, it has to be a match further down the line between Dominic and Rey. Because that would give Dominic so much heat, and he could actually use that to propel him to a potential world title run. Now, a lot of people were hating on Dominic Mysterio when he was a face. I actually enjoyed him. Now, seeing him as a heel is some of the best stuff ever. He can actually pull it off.
He really can, man. He really can. He reminds me a lot of Conan, if you know him from WCW.
Oh yeah, the man who's inducting Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And he does give off a little bit of heel Eddie vibes. Which I'm pretty sure that's...
the mullet, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to go for. And they're making it work.
Yeah, typically WWE's booking isn't that good, but what they're doing with Dominic, man, after turning heel, man, they've done an amazing job with his character. Literally, his character development has been chef's kiss.
Have him dethrone Roman Reigns.
Wow, that would get him heat, man. A lot. That'd be crazy if that actually happened.
Or people would probably just cheer for him because they're so tired of Roman's near 1,000-day title reign.
I mean, but mind you, I don't think it would be that much of a big deal because, one, Dominic, he's young, man. He's new. And
right.
Secondly, he's really gotten very comfortable on the mic, if you've noticed. Like, he's actually
absolutely
really good now. He's good.
Like, when he first started, he was a bit... He was a little green. However, he has grown as a performer, like in the ring, on the mic, and as a character. That is what I love to see when it comes to these up-and-coming stars. Like, if they start out as these nervous rookies, and they just get more comfortable and become these interesting characters, that just makes everything so much better because you get to see their growth and they become stars of the future. Like, you could say the same thing with, like, Austin Theory. When he first started in WWE, he wasn't really doing much. Like, yes, he was great in the ring. He didn't get much time on the mic. But now that he's away from The Way and Seth Rollins and Murphy, which I guess all of those guys are away from each other. You can see him become more confident on the mic, more dangerous in the ring, like dangerous in a good way, not Nia Jax dangerous. Like you can see him become a star of the future.
Yeah, Austin Theory, he can really talk, man. He's really great. But if you saw that promo, I'm sure you saw it. If you saw that promo between him and John Cena on
Oh
Raw,
yeah,
a lot of people are saying that John Cena pretty much, in a way, buried him on the mic.
sure.
Now, we've seen John Cena do this before with many guys in the past.
He
The
did
Rock,
it to Roman Reigns,
yeah, Roman Reigns.
but we all know how that ends. With Austin Theory walking out of WrestleMania as the United States champion.
That would be nice.
Like, as much as I love John Cena, I've been a huge fan of him since I started watching wrestling. This isn't the time and place for John Cena to win. Because he is going to put over possibly the next face of WWE.
You never know. There might be a huge swerve, and they might have Cena win if he has more time to wrestle for a little bit, and then Austin can win it back.
Honestly, I would love to see John Cena as United States champion for a sixth time. Like, have him do some open challenges against current stars. Like, imagine another John Cena versus Kevin Owens match. John Cena versus Sami Zayn. John Cena versus Montez Ford.
We know all of those guys would be carrying John Cena in that match.
But either way, you know it would be awesome. Just like John Cena's United States Championship reign in 2015.
Yeah, that was a great time. I remember that time he faced Sami Zayn. I believe he made his Raw debut, right?
Yeah, that was Sami's Raw debut. He injured his shoulder during his entrance. And he still performed the match.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't respect Sami Zayn after that, then what is wrong with you?
He was even introduced, I believe, by Bret Hart.
Yes, he was. He was made to be a huge deal. Like, in his debut match on Raw. And look at him now. He challenged Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. He's going to team up with Kevin Owens to defeat the Usos at WrestleMania. Well, I sure hope they defeat the Usos. Because I need another Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens title run. Like, yeah, I know they've had them separately, but I want one of them together. Let Sami Owens win the tag titles.
It needs to happen, man. It needs to happen.
Yes, it does.
Such history in the Indies and in the WWE and NXT especially. We've got to see it happen. Everyone knows about their friendship, man. Them being tag team champions, especially undisputed tag team champions.
Right. I personally think I think it should have happened in 2018. Like when they were doing this,
teaming up with each other.
Yeah, when they had this heel feud, and they were heels and they were feuding with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. I wanted them to win that match and go on to challenge whichever tag champions they wanted to face. Like, I don't care if it was The Bar or Broken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I forgot who were the tag champions on SmackDown at the time. This was like right around WrestleMania 34.
I do know the Bludgeon
Yes, it was the Bludgeon Brothers. They
There
were
you
the
go.
tag
Yep.
champs.
Yeah.
Because they beat the Usos and the New Day in a triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles. It's all coming back to me now.
But yeah, you know, Owens and Sammy, them winning would be great, man. I mean, if Sammy doesn't win the undisputed title, that's a great alternative. But there's been a
Yeah,
lot of people saying that, like they've been comparing the Yes Movement, Daniel
yeah,
Bryan,
I
to the current
can,
Sami Zayn.
yeah, I can see where they're getting it. And as much as I would love to see Sami Zayn as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, I don't mind him being tag team champion because as long as he's champion and as long as Kevin Owens is champion, I am a very happy man.
Yeah,
Because
honestly, here's my thing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
because if you couldn't tell, that's how I got my channel name. I
No, I can talk.
Yeah, back when I first started the channel, it was actually shortly before Sami Zayn helped Kevin Owens beat Shane McMahon in the Hell in a Cell match. Like, I wanted them to be a team again, and a couple months later, it came into fruition, and now we're here.
Now we're here.
But yeah, as you were saying,
But yeah, like so for the undisputed world title, if I said that correctly.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind, like, I would love to see Cody Rhodes win the title. If Roman Reigns wins, though, I wouldn't mind that. Like, it goes both ways. I really wouldn't
Right.
mind because I would love to see Roman pass the 1,000-day reign as the champion.
Right, that would be historical. Like, no one in the modern era has ever done that.
Yeah,
I think Hogan was the last one to do it, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's like between him and Bruno,
Yeah, I know that Bruno Sammartino held it for like 7 years his first reign, 4 years his second reign.
which is crazy.
Right? The man's a legend.
Yeah, it's great to know that he got into the Hall of Fame before he died.
Absolutely. And when it comes to uh, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, if Cody Rhodes wins, I don't see him holding two titles for very long. I think he's going to relinquish the Universal Championship and bring back the Winged Eagle belt for the WWE Championship.
That would be amazing.
Right, and then you can have like a tournament over on SmackDown for the Universal Championship while Roman takes a well-deserved break. And let someone else be champion, like Drew McIntyre or Sheamus, Gunther, maybe Solo Sikoa. Who knows?
Imagine Randy Orton feuding with Cody Rhodes as the WWE champion.
Yes, that is what I've been wanting to see. Like, ever since Cody Rhodes came back, a WWE Championship feud between those two. And if this whole scandal with the DiBiase's wasn't happening, I'd want him to come back and be like the special guest referee for one match.
I mean, the history's right there, man. Literally, they have history, bro. It's all right there.
And this would leave a mark on the legacy of their careers.
You know, it would have been nice though if Ted DiBiase actually stayed, but obviously he couldn't because his family and stuff like that. But,
Right.
he had potential. Just like how Cody did, and look where Cody's at, man.
Right, like if this whole embezzlement scandal thing didn't happen, I could see him. I could have seen him in other companies becoming a big star like Cody Rhodes, and maybe he would have made his way back to WWE. Who knows?
You know, I do feel like on the low, they would welcome him back with open arms, but you know, they don't want to have controversy.
Right.
But hopefully one day we see Ted make an appearance. Ted Jr.
Right. Because we've seen Ted DiBiase Sr. make multiple appearances, especially down in NXT.
Oh yeah, with LA.
And Cameron Grimes. Those segments were hilarious.
Yeah, I don't watch much NXT, but you know, I do look at a few clips on YouTube, and
Right.
I've seen the work Cameron has done.
Yeah.
Wait, is Cameron still active in NXT?
Apparently he's on his way to the main roster, but they're just trying to find something for him to do. I have a simple idea. Have him team up with Baron Corbin. Make them like this new $1 Million Inc.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know why
Honestly,
I don't know why my dog's being the way he is. I'm sorry if you could hear that.
That's alright.
Alright, but as you were saying?
But yeah, let's talk about some Baron Corbin. How about that homeless, that broke ass?
Oh,
Baron
yes.
Corbin?
My favorite Baron Corbin gimmick ever. Like, yeah, the Lone Wolf Corbin was amazing, but mainly just because of Pat McAfee. He made that character his Baron Corbin's best character ever.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I just wish they did more with that. They could have done more with the homeless storyline. Like, they literally just dropped the ball with it, unfortunately.
Right, like...
Happy Corbin was just... I don't know, man. That was just...
I understand that SummerSlam was in Las Vegas, I believe, that year, or pretty close to it. But they did show like clips of him winning it big in Vegas, regaining all of his money.
Yeah, that is true. I've seen those.
Like, if SummerSlam was not in Vegas that year, I could have seen them dragging out that story for a good while. Like, I would have loved that.
Yeah, they could have done a lot more with it, man.
Like, he stole Big E's briefcase. He tried to steal the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship opportunity at SummerSlam from John Cena, which, then again, Finn Balor tried to steal it as well, which I can't blame him. But I would have loved to see Corbin, like, as broke Corbin versus the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Like, mainly just to see how desperate Corbin would be in trying to gain the title.
Yeah, and they could literally... that would be a great way, actually, to make the fans get behind Baron Corbin. Because the desperation, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, honestly, they could actually try that again if he keeps up this losing streak. Like, bring back Bro Corbin, actually build it out even more than last time, and get him a last chance of sorts at success by having him face Roman Reigns. And then you can just do whatever you want with him after that.
Yeah, that'd literally be the perfect way to make him face. I just think so, man. People will get behind it. He was very over when he was homeless. They should just run it back.
right? Like, I see people saying that they want the lone wolf back. Like, don't get me wrong.
That's unlikely, man.
Right, he would need hair to do that. And mainly, I just want to hear that theme again. It was such an amazing song.
Honestly, I could see him do the lone wolf. I mean, he doesn't really need to have the hair. He could just be bald and stay bald and like
Yeah.
something like Orton '09, like just very quiet. Like he doesn't say much. I could see him
Cold,
getting
calculated,
serious. Yeah, I could see him
demented.
bring it back.
But anyway, um, as much as I'd love to see that Corbin come back, there's only one way you can make Corbin feel cared about. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase that before I sound like a jerk. Like, if you want people to care about the Baron Corbin character and make him likable, go back to the broke gimmick. Because that was working the first time.
It was. It was.
But yeah, is there anything else you'd want to talk about?
Um. Huh. I think we pretty much talked about everything we could. Unless you've got something else you want to talk about.
One last thing. So, tonight, since we're filming it on March 15th,
Oh,
there
I have a
is
feeling I know what you're gonna say.
the Trios World Title match that's happening tonight. House of Black, the Elite, and the Jericho Appreciation Society. Who do you think is going to win, and why?
I think the champs are gonna retain. I just don't think they're not gonna have a short reign. They're not gonna do that. I
As
don't see
much
them
as I'd
screwing
want to
it up.
see them as champions for a long time, I sadly don't see them retaining. I think uh, Jericho's going to find a way to win it for his team by pinning Kenny Omega or someone like that. But yeah, for those of you who are watching this the day it comes out, or just any time after that, let me know how wrong I am in the comments.
Also, before we end this, what about MJF's celebration?
Oh yeah,
His birthday.
his re-bar mitzvah or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Honestly, no one can miss it. I I am a huge fan of MJF, and I just want to see where this goes, who is going to interrupt it, and who's going to challenge him for the title.
Yeah, I'm really ready to see who's the next opponent for the MJF.
Oh yeah, and I know that we're just building off of all these conversations. Speaking of challenging for MJF's title, Bryan Danielson, like a recent promo of his was saying that he was finally going home. What do you think he meant by that?
I'm glad you asked. That could possibly mean he's going to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that seems like the biggest possibility. Unless he...
Or WWE.
That I would love to see. I would love to see Daniel Bryan return to WWE, and there's just so many matches that I would love to see. One of them being Johnny Gargano versus Daniel Bryan.
The underdogs.
Well, if we're doing it like that, then we gotta throw in Sami Zayn, the underdog from the underground.
Ah, you got me there.
Oh,
You know what? Honestly,
no,
I doubt he's going to WWE because if you haven't heard about this, the Bella Twins
Oh yeah,
are apparently
yep.
going to AEW.
I've heard about the Garcia twins leaving WWE. Like, honestly, whatever they plan on doing, good for them. I wasn't a huge fan of them. Like, I respect their work.
Same.
Like, I just want them to succeed in whatever they try to do.
Yeah, hopefully with all that time out they've had, they've gotten better in the ring, especially breathing.
Right.
I mean, I know they've got kids, but still. Hopefully they've worked on the craft.
Right. And if they did improve in the ring, I can't wait to see what the next generation of stars are going to look like. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Quill Wrestling, John Moxley's little one, Liberty Rhodes. You got so many wrestlers this generation having kids, and it makes you think what the future will look like for them.
You know what? That's like what I'm wondering for Chris Benoit's son, David Benoit.
Oh yeah, I've heard he has done some like independent wrestling stuff, but I don't understand some fans. Like, I've heard them trash talk him because of his last name. Like,
I know, man.
he's been through a lot. Just why are you bullying him for something his father did?
Exactly. It's a deep, dark topic to talk about.
Right.
But I think it's messed up how they literally just, blame the guy.
Right.
But I would love to see him, just get in the ring. I mean,
right. Like,
he has time.
I think I think a great place to do that, AEW, or maybe Ring of Honor. Maybe set up a match with Bryan Danielson.
He has the connections too, He knows Chris Jericho.
Right.
He knows Dean Malenko. He knows all these guys.
And
I just hope he makes that move.
Also, he does have connections with Paul Heyman.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe it was on Inside the Ropes. Paul Heyman was discussing the whole Chris Benoit tragedy and like Benoit's time in ECW, how he was going to make him champion, and like the first pay-per-view was going to have Guerrero versus Benoit.
What happened with Chris Benoit and ECW?
If I'm not mistaken, he just wasn't happy there, so he left for WCW, I think.
Yeah, sounds accurate to me.
And then he left WCW, came to WWE, won the Royal Rumble in 2004, main evented WrestleMania and won. Had that.
Yeah, he's one of the OG underdogs of the WWE.
Like, when it comes to his in-ring ability, one of the best ever. But after what happened, I am not a fan of him as a person.
Yeah.
But on another topic of like someone getting harassed, Rich Holland is getting a lot of threats, and so is his family after what happened with Big E. Like, Big E said that he's fine with whatever outcome happens, like if he can return or if he can't. And Rich Holland recently posted about threats his family and himself have received, and I just find that absolutely disgusting.
That's ridiculous, man. I like Rich. I really think he's great. It was just an accident, you know what I mean?
I love Rich Holland. He deserves so much more, like more respect from wrestling fans for his in-ring work. Like, accidents happen all the time. How else do you think those wrestling fans got around?
Right.
But yeah.
There's also, speaking of Rich though, his partner Butch.
Oh yeah.
Said that, Pete Dunne might make a return.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Like, yeah, I've grown to love the name Butch, but
yeah, same.
Pete Dunne is a more recognizable name, and when you think of Pete Dunne, the only thing you can think of is like joint manipulation.
Imagine Dunne versus Walter.
Oh, that's happened before. They've had amazing matches in the past, and I want to see it again.
Yeah, this time on the main roster. That would be nice.
Yep, for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, hopefully Walter holds it until then, man.
But yeah, if he holds it until like September 8th or 9th, he will beat the Honky Tonk Man's record.
I hope so, man. I really do.
That would bring so much prestige to the title. Even though it has so much prestige now since he's champion. Like,
yeah. Name
one bad match he's had since he won the title.
Let me see. Yeah, I can't.
Neither can I. Especially that match against Sheamus at Clash at the Castle. That
was a classic.
Was insane. Like, they started out with Imperium brawling with the Brawling Brutes, and they were just standing there staring at each other. That just added so much to it already.
Who would you actually... You know what? Since we're talking about the Intercontinental Championship, who would you like to see win the match for the qualifier? Drew McIntyre or Sheamus?
Oh, God. If I have to pick one, I would say Drew McIntyre. However, here's how I think it's going to happen. Like, during the closing moments of the match, Sheamus and Drew are kind of like slowly starting to get back up. Then Imperium interferes and causes a double disqualification, with Gunther coming out onto the stage announcing he wants a triple threat.
Whoa. That would be awesome, man.
I agree. Now, if you had to pick one of them to win, who would it be?
Honestly, man, what a lot of people are saying, I'd say Sheamus, because he has not held that title ever. Just like Cena. So that'd be something new, something fresh.
Right, and I don't know when the last time we had a Grand Slam champion. Because during the Vince McMahon era, we got them like pretty much every single month. But since it's been a while, it feels more prestigious.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like the double champion situation. Because in like the past 10 years, we've had so many. Like, we've had Becky Lynch, Keith Lee, uh, Seth Rollins at a couple points.
The Miz.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, didn't he hold
Yeah.
like 3 titles at one point?
Oh, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, the Unified Tag Team Championships and the United States Championship.
Yes.
But that was back in 2010 when he was with Big Show.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to discuss?
I mean, we could talk about the big gold title, the World Heavyweight
Oh yes,
title.
the World Heavyweight Championship. One of the most beautiful championships in all of professional wrestling. Because
Now,
when you... Oh,
the reason why I brought that up is because I'd rather see that than the Universal title.
completely fair. I agree with that. As much as I love the Universal Championship, it's an underrated title, and I love the color blue. I just think that the World Heavyweight Championship, with a bit of an updated design, like not too updated, it would look so prestigious compared to the current world titles.
Yeah, I just don't get why they even discontinued that title. I mean,
Right,
such a beautiful look.
like you can have Cody Rhodes bring back the Winged Eagle belt on Raw. Then you can have whoever wins the Universal Championship tournament on SmackDown replace the Universal Championship with the World Heavyweight Championship and bring back some nostalgia to a modern product.
Pretty much like if Cody were actually to bring back the Winged Eagle.
Right.
Just like how he kind of same concept somewhat of like the Intercontinental title.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And some people are still saying that was one of the best Cody moments ever.
Oh, it was definitely a highlight of his career and for that title.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the current Intercontinental Championship. I just love the white strap and the plate designs of that previous Intercontinental Championship. Like, it looks unique compared to everything else, and it just looked so prestigious.
Yeah. Just the design itself, not even the strap, because we've seen guys like Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Rick Rude. They've held those titles, man.
Yes, they have. And you can't forget about Chris Jericho or The Miz, Rob Van Dam. Like, so many... Oh, yeah, Jeff Hardy. Who else was an amazing Intercontinental Champion?
Wow. Did you say Dolph Ziggler?
I did not yet. Good call.
Well, there you go, Dolph Ziggler.
Randy Orton. Especially his match against Cactus Jack.
Oh, yeah. Backlash 2004.
What a crazy match.
Yeah, Orton, he owes it all to Cactus Jack. He literally, made him that match, man.
Well, I mean, you can't just give all the credit to Cactus Jack. Evolution also was a huge help in getting Randy's name out there. Like, yes,
true.
They've heard the name Orton before. But that was Cowboy Bob Orton, and I know there was one before Cowboy Bob.
Yeah, his father.
So...
Bobby Boy's father. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, like people already knew the name Orton, but Evolution helped Randy become his own star and not live in his father's shadow.
Yeah, he's literally surpassed his father
Oh,
and his grandfather.
absolutely. Like, no disrespect to his father and grandfather. Like,
Yeah,
they were amazing back in their day. But Randy is on a whole nother level. And I absolutely love that.
I kind of wish I could say the same for Curtis Axel, man.
Same here.
It is cool that Curtis, he held the Intercontinental Championship just like his father, but he just wasn't as good as his father, unfortunately.
Right. Like, I would love to see him come back someday.
Yeah, I believe actually right now he's like a agent.
Yeah, I think he's like a backstage producer or something like that.
Yeah,
But
I've
I would,
seen him in segments pulling back wrestlers.
yeah, I would love to see him, like, go to a different wrestling company, kind of like what Drew McIntyre did, and just coming back a bigger and better version of himself, and possibly like get that huge push that he deserves.
Honestly,
Or it could just be
I think
another Jinder Mahal situation.
I think he's just gonna keep that producer check, man.
You know what?
Because
That's
you got
fair.
Hurricane Helms. Helms, he's a producer also. He's back there with
True.
Hurricane.
Okay, fine. Let him have one more appearance in a Royal Rumble. I'd pop for that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Would be cool.
Absolutely. So what else is there to discuss? If you have anything else in mind.
Okay, I got one more thing, maybe.
All right.
The Hurt Business. Would you like to see them come back together? Would you love to see them reform?
Oh,
Because I
absolutely.
know I do.
If
Yeah.
they keep Omos out of the group, we're good. Because
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't mind Omos being in it. Like he could just be the guy in the background. You
yes,
know?
just let him be kind of like the bouncer of the group, like what he did with Raw Underground. Remember Raw
Yeah.
Underground?
I remember that, man. That was
Underrated.
that was something. Yeah, that was underrated.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
But yeah, back to the Hurt Business. I loved how the Hurt Business started out. Like, it was just like MVP and Lashley at first. Well, actually, we have to go back to Impact Wrestling because
Oh yeah, that's where it all started.
yeah, they had a version of it. Like, I forgot what it was called, but they had a similar version to what they had in WWE. But I liked what the WWE version was. Like, it had Shelton Benjamin, a veteran who never got to his full potential. Like, I thought Shelton should have been world champion one day because he was
He had the
so
charisma, man.
yeah. He had the charisma, the in-ring ability, the mic skills. Like, what prevented him from becoming like WWE champion?
Who knows? They just probably wanted to keep like John Cena, Randy Orton, those guys as their top guys. Mainly Cena,
True.
obviously, for the marketing and all that kind of stuff. But I think because we've had guys like Jinder Mahal become the champion, Great
Right.
Khali Lee, like why not have a Shelton Benjamin as a champion?
Right, and Shelton Benjamin is Shelton Benjamin has way more athleticism in his pinky than the Great Khali had in his whole body.
Another wrestler that's very deserving that we mentioned earlier, Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, I was just about to guess that. Well, yeah, I loved his run as a NXT champion, but let him win the Grand Slam. It's been long overdue.
Honestly, I think it would work if they were to do something like what they did with the Miz and Dolph Ziggler, like where they're fighting for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to get the fans to get behind Dolph Ziggler, and I don't think that would be a hard thing to do because Dolph is a likable guy.
Right, and that promo for Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, like where Dolph got really emotional and put his career on the line, that just made you think, oh my god, this is incredible. Dolph Ziggler has to win the title.
You won it at No Mercy 2017?
Close, 2016.
Oh, 2016, okay.
Yeah, because I like to look back at that promo every now and again. Because it reminds me of a time when Dolph Ziggler was like a true star. Now, I don't know what he's doing. He's just the guy that people like to beat up.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw Solo Sikoa just, beat him on Raw recently. He's pretty much the fall guy,
Unfortunately.
But hopefully they do something with him, man. Hopefully they do something with him before it's over for him. It's kind of like The Miz, too, in a way, But The Miz gets more screen time, but he's been taking some losses, too. He's been pinning wrestlers over. Like, I think Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, that whole storyline.
You know what? I have an idea to get Dolph Ziggler back in the spotlight. Make him the Miz's co-host at WrestleMania. Then have the Miz get all jealous when people cheer for Dolph, and have the Miz attack Dolph Ziggler on like night 1 or night 2, setting up a match for for either later in the night of night 2, or just set one up on that show in general. And have Dolph Ziggler beat The Miz, and they can have the feud keep going. And that could give Dolph Ziggler the momentum that he needs to be a top babyface once again.
Yeah. That'd be pretty nice, actually. That actually would be pretty nice.
But yeah, back to the Hurt Business. Cedric Alexander, a young, hungry rookie that has so much talent in the ring. He was a great fit to be the fourth man of the Hurt Business. And I felt like if they had to add anybody like within that first time period, it should have been Keith Lee.
Ooh.
Like, don't get me wrong, Keith Lee, amazing as a solo star. Like, especially when Triple H was in charge of NXT. He put the rocket on his back, and he went to the moon and beyond that, even. Like, and you could have had him, like, you could have had him lose to Bobby Lashley to force him into the Hurt Business, then have him embrace that heel character and make him like the dominant mid-card guy while Bobby Lashley went for the WWE Championship. Then you can have Keith Lee try to overtake Bobby Lashley and win the WWE title from him while he's still United States champion.
I've absolutely seen Keith Lee as a WWE champion. His charisma, man. He just has such charisma.
Right, and
but his promos, sorry to cut you off, but his promos seem to get a lot of slack, though. I think his promos are fine, in my opinion. I think the way he talks is okay. It's his own thing. It's very unique, you know what I mean? For a big guy, especially.
Right. And
I think he's okay.
like I was about to say, like I mentioned with Brock Lesnar earlier, he moves like a guy like a smaller size than him. Like Keith Lee can do all of these insane moves that makes him feel like a cruiserweight when in reality he's not. And his matches with like Dominic Dijakovic, Damian Priest, and so many others are proof of that.
Speaking of Dominic, man, he's a guy who I liked in NXT. I liked his original like gimmick or his look he had there, and not the Retribution one. I wish he had that on the main roster.
Right. Like, I may be the only one to say this, but I liked Retribution. It wasn't the greatest team ever. It was an interesting idea. And sure, it didn't work out, but at least it gave them some TV time.
At least they had a good theme song, too.
Absolutely. But yeah, and what do you think about his current gimmick? Wait, oh yeah, earlier you mentioned that you don't watch much of NXT.
Yeah, but I've seen his gimmick, though. He reminds me of Blade, like his look, the glasses, that whole coat he has on. You know Blade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, his whole look just reminds me of that guy. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think about it, though?
Honestly, I think he's doing a great job with it. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of him. He's an amazing athlete, but they're kind of squandering it because he's only had like a few matches since coming back to NXT, but he lost his two biggest matches. The first one against Wesley for the North American Championship, which amazing match by the way, and he recently lost the Jailhouse Street fight against Tony D'Angelo. Like, where does he go from there?
Who knows?
But I just hope things get better for that character, because it's very compelling and he's actually pulling it off.
Is he still injured? Because I remember he did break his finger.
I have no idea. I just hope that his finger either fully recovered or it's like is healing properly.
Yeah, that was gnarly, man.
Yeah, the pictures I've seen of it just really disgusted me.
Yeah.
Like, when he first posted a picture, I was like, okay, what am I supposed to see? Then I saw it and I was like, oh god, no. No.
Yeah. On Instagram, right? You unblurred it and you saw. Yeah, that was something else, man. Didn't expect it at all. Because I don't watch, so I was like, bro, what?
Right, I even saw the match and, like, I saw, like, his finger, but I didn't think much about it. But once I actually had focus on what it looked like, I was just really concerned for the guy.
I just hope he comes back, man. He's really great.
Me too.
Although he's in his late 30s. I would love to just see him come back to the main roster, maybe, man.
Right, like, I hope Keith Lee also eventually comes back, just so we can get Dominik Dijakovic versus Keith Lee at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they had so much chemistry, man, in NXT.
Absolutely. They put on some of the best matches of the night.
And for Keith Lee, like, that guy, he had so much momentum when he made his Royal Rumble debut in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, he got to face Brock Lesnar. Like, that was something, man. That was something. They clearly had plans for that, man.
Right, and
he beat, like, in his first pay-per-view, he beat Randy Orton. That's a big thing.
If we think about, like, his actual main roster debut, like, for a pay-per-view match, it was the 5-on-5-on-5 at Survivor Series 2019. And he went toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns and almost beat him.
Yeah, that just goes to show they had good plans for this guy, man. He was taken seriously as a talent.
Right.
Still is. But in WWE, man, he just had his best work there so far.
Absolutely. Triple H was so far the only guy to get his character right.
It would just be nice, honestly, like, if Keith Lee did, lose some weight, I feel like if he did, he'd be 10 times better, man, because at his size already, he's very agile, man. So just imagine
Absolutely.
him a lot lighter, man. Like, he'd be amazing.
But yeah, Keith Lee would have been a perfect fit for the Hurt Business. Maybe he could have been the cause of their friendly split up. Like, Keith Lee tries to take over the Hurt Business, but they don't want that, and he just he loses to Bobby Lashley in the end, and they all decide, and like, they all would turn face in the process, and they would all go their separate ways. Well, I mean, Lashley and MVP could stay together, since they had such amazing chemistry.
And I do feel like there's a possibility that we actually may get their business, because Bobby Lashley has ties to MVP, and Omos has ties to MVP.
Right, even though I am not a fan of Omos, if he just stays kind of like a bodyguard to, like, MVP, then I guess I'll be fine with that. I just want to see the Hurt Business reform.
You can only hope, man. You can only hope.
And then a potential feud with, like, the Judgment Day or the Bloodline. That'd be magical.
Awesome. That'd be stellar.
It would be stupendous.
Bloodline, though. Ooh, you got me there. But I would love to see one with the Bloodline, actually. But this time, the Hurt Business, they're the faces, maybe. And the
Absolutely.
Bloodline are the heels.
And do it inside of War Games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, you got WWE 2K23. Did you play War Games?
Absolutely. That was the first match I did on stream. And it was against my brother, who is off camera. And I used the team of Roman Reigns, Carmelo Hayes, and Cody Rhodes. He used the team of Ricochet, Finn Balor, and... how do I not remember who else he picked? Oh yeah, Seth freaking Rollins.
Wow.
I was about to put him through a flaming table, while both Carmelo Hayes and Roman Reigns were pinning uh, Finn Balor and Seth freaking Rollins. Like, I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I, I, I did not expect both of my teammates to be pinning his teammates.
I might get the game though. I've been thinking.
Oh, you definitely should.
Well, I will, man. I just have to. I mean, they got retro Brock Lesnar. They got retro Randy Orton. Especially
Speaking of,
Randy Orton from 2009. I mean,
yeah.
dude.
Speaking of,
I would have played.
yeah, but speaking of the showcase mode, this is my final point I want to bring up. I was playing that last night, and I got to AJ Styles versus John Cena, and I was trying to do like some of the quests so I can unlock everything. Like, I'm not an AJ Styles fan. I've made that clear so many times in the past, and I was just trying. I just like to be a completionist of sorts, and I was trying to do the one task, which was a wheelbarrow facebuster. I was doing the inputs correct. However, it wouldn't register as that, so I had to try like over 100 times just to try to get the move to work. I even tried like changing the direction I moved the left stick, but nothing would work. So I basically just rage quit, and I gotta try to complete that tonight.
What are your thoughts on the controls, though? Just in general, like how they changed it?
They didn't really change it too much from last year's game, which I love the new controls. Sure, I was a little hesitant when they first announced them in 2K22, because I was so used to playing 2K20 like so many times. Like, I even tried to make a series on 2K20, but I didn't really have time to like edit videos to make them come out once a week and all that other stuff. But yeah, I actually like the new controls.
Hey, maybe once I get the game, I'll adapt to it. Because I've never played 2K22, so it's gonna be pretty new to me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me at Walmart, they're like $25. So I would recommend picking up 2K22.
I mean, at this point, 2K23 is out, so I might as well just get that one.
Right? But
No.
I've been like going to some pawn shops and game stores, and I found like copies of like 2K16, 2K17, 2K18, and I love playing those still. Like, if I...
it's funny because, sorry to cut you off, but it's funny because I actually got 2K15 today. And, yeah, I actually never got to play it on the next gen, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, I love revisiting, like, old wrestling games. Like, I wish I still had my PS2, because I have, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 and, SmackDown Just Bring It. Like, those are two of the greatest wrestling games of their time.
Have you ever played Here Comes the Pain?
I think I played all of the SmackDown games. I really enjoyed those games. And
I've never played those games, man.
I think at one point I think I owned like all of the SmackDown vs. Raw games for the PS2.
Wow.
Well, I mean, pawn shops are magical places.
And GameStops at times.
True.
If you're lucky, I guess.
Right, like the latest, and well, some of the like older games I found at GameStop were like just 2K16, and that's the earliest it goes.
Hmm.
Like I'm still trying to find 2K14. Can't find it
Oh, that's
anywhere.
a good one, man. Wow, that's wow. I mean, you can try it online.
You know what? Very good point.
You should, man. I think you should. Online.
Alright, is there anything else you'd want to discuss?
Not really, man. I think I think we're good, man. We talked about just about everything.
Yeah, and
Literally.
for almost 2 hours.
Wow.
But
That's the record.
yeah,
Current record.
yeah, that's the magic of wrestling. You can go on for hours and not get tired of it.
Literally, man. This is fun, though. This really was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved having you on the show. Is there any social media accounts that you'd like to plug right now?
Yeah, sure. My YouTube channel, it's called HeelGill.
All right.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today on the Sami Owens Show. I had a blast today.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. If you want to be a future guest, let me know in the comments below or on my Instagram at samiowens.yt. And I will catch you in the next one.